Hello everybody. It's time for a TEC live stream. Hasn't been done for quite a while. We are live for round 6 it is today in Nürburgring. 24-hour layout on the schedule. So second half of the season is starting now. And let's have a quick look at the current standings. After 5 rounds, we have a tie on points for top 2 teams. Done! Exclamation mark with Dylan and Kurt. Tied on points. Scissor, Fisters, G and Shred. Then also those for the final podium spot currently. Blackband, GP, Thomas and King. But just 1 point deficit for Schnell, Fast Racing and Richie. And still not out of contention, Speed Hunters and Taz. And let's see if LT, Fuzzy and Dashi can close that gap. Have a outside chance, I'd say, at 3 maybe. Like Lions Racing, Lemony and Ovich. Currently some live things going on. Won't be making it at Furious with also a random teammate every round. Nico had to step down as well. But yes, still half of the season left, and maybe with a great run, you never know what can happen. So, just a quick look. So, what is next? And Spa, we have, of course, have a St. Croix race here, layer B. Tokyo, second race at Tokyo, and we finish in Canada. Chill Villeneuve in Montreal today. Yeah, an interesting race, definitely at Nürburgring. And we're also having some interesting settings, courtesy of Beetlejuice. Decided that it would be a very rainy race today. We will definitely have rain towards the end at hour 7 hour. Everything up until then, we don't know. So I had a bit of a glimpse at the lobby when it started, and there was some rain for the start and also for the qualifying. That would be interesting. So we'll see what's it actually gonna look like. So bring up weather and see what happened. Not too long ago, we had definitely some rain on track. Now it's dry. Don't think that mind the qualifier settings as well. It will still be the one shot qualifying the length of the track. We have 15 minutes total and we get another lap, so in plus 10 roughly. Bit of a longer session than usual. with that long out lap, of course. Already roughly 10 minutes gone, I think. Then there's not too much time left, to be honest. And Bert, lobby host, seen the message in chat. Qualifying will be starting soon. There are still missing shreds, so maybe. And qualifying will start without him. And now it looks like we have definitely some rain at the start of the session, so this could be an interesting choice now for the drivers. To wait 3, 4, 5 minutes maybe in the pits and then go out, hope that the track will improve, gamble, maybe even use the slick tire compound. Or play it safe, go out, set that lap on the intermediate tires. This might be the two options I see from the settings currently. Waiting for the signal in the lobby. Can jump the spectate mode. Okay. Qualifying is starting now. Good luck. I don't know. It's fine, all these are still showing, so any second now. Any second. Oh. We're in a very wet qualifying session. Most of the drivers are on the soft tire compound. Okay, it's interesting they're going out on the track on the soft, so they are confident that the conditions will improve throughout the outlap. It's still above the first bar with rain still falling down. There's not much gap between the drivers on that outlap. Rain seems to be increasing a little bit here on the GP layout. That's also a little bit of a test run, I think, for the race later. Dashi is on the intermediates compared to the soft tire runners in front of him. Lamini on the soft, so he's going for the risky strategy. I think. Dylan as well. Kurt. So some drivers are still waiting in the pits to go out on track. So let drivers clear track, and this is now heavy rain. So after roughly 2 minutes, it's tricky. Juris is waiting, River is waiting, Taz waiting on inters, Richie on the softs. Tashi is lagging it. Now on his inters definitely has a grip advantage on the outlap. And here are the soft tire runners struggling for grip on the outlap. You'll choose during Lemony. Thomas, where's Prodigy was leading. It's now E6 on that outlap, and Dylan Kurt, so they survived. I think the tricky part on that GP, there at Kaza, who is reserving for Blasi today. And Oscar having no grip at all on the GP track, so is it too late to abandon? So yeah, it's a wheel spin. And he goes. So yeah, Oscar is taking that abandoned seat in Fury's team. 3 drivers still waiting to go out. So they have a little bit of time, of course. Oh, 4 drivers. Sorry? Juris, River, Taz, and Richie now. They've selected the softs, and this is now really wet here currently on that outlap. And we definitely see some positions changing. Here Lemony going very, very slow. So he's definitely hoping for track improvement. Taz now decides to go out. This is tricky section on the GP track, still very wet on those slick tires. Yuri is now as well out. Let's see how he gets along on cold tires on a very wet surface. Very, very thoughtful driving. River is out. Richie goes deep, so Schnell fast racing with the team qualifying approach next to each other. Dashina has to hope that it will be wet enough for his inters. Just halfway through that lap. For the race start, I'm not sure if someone risks the soft tire though. Looks to be like a intermediate start for the race at least. Qualifying, yeah, with those cold slick tires now as well, it's pretty tough, I think, to keep that car on the track as well. So those 3 drivers have formed a little group. Here it looks like the track conditions are improving. But testing the curbs, the wetness. Dylan has a little bit of damage as well. It will go away throughout the outlap. So that's not a problem. Oscar running, and this looks already good for the soft tires. Someone is driving backwards, so what's the issue? What is Lemony doing? You are going the wrong way, mate. Stop it. Feels like he wants to get more. Try track. And that was close. Not sure about that, to be honest. Reversing on a live track. I feel like we should have an incident report already coming. So there she is approaching the final third of the track, comes through Brünchen, and then it's roughly 2.5, maybe 3 minutes in those conditions before start of the lap. This is still very, very wet here for Dashi, but conditions are improving the further down we go on that outlet for the drivers, so could be that gamble with the soft tires will pay. Hard now forced, a bit of erratic driving once again. I would advise to leave some gaps. So Dashi now at Galgenkopf, the double right-hander, and then we go on to the Dettinger Höhe. And this is still wet, very wet. But as soon as Dashi reaches the GP track, those wet conditions, they will be gone, vanished. It's now time to get ready. And we have an eye on those conditions, so through the final chicane, still wet. And then let's have a look. We saw cars coming out of the pits. It's still tricky, I think, for the soft tire runners if it stays like this on the straight. No, Dashi was using the wet line, so that's why conditions were good. You can clearly see that dry racing line. We're on the track and we are dropping beneath that first bar. Let's see. Ooh, Beetlejuice with a spin in the Kleine Carousel. A massive moment. Keza had also a little bit of damage. The suspension took a hit. Steering now behind, so this could be interesting. So on a drying track, Dashi the only driver on the intermediates to go on that lap. He has a bit of like this safety blanket, like if he goes wide and still correct it. And then let's see Keza and the D-Ring. So the braking zone for the Hohenrhein chicane at the end of the Dettinger Höhe might still be very tricky. It's still like midway through that wetness indicator on the track. Will he get it stopped? Looks okay. You're a little bit deep and Keza struggling, so not the ideal start to the lap. Lost a little bit of momentum early, but now going on to the drying racing line. It's still wet, but going in a straight line shouldn't be too bad. Let's see, we're braking for turn 1, and yeah, it's fine, I think, for those softs. If you don't touch the wet bits, of course. Kasa goes a little bit deep onto the wet parts, but keeps it clean so far. Here comes Kurt, next driver, to start the flying lap, and the conditions are improving for the drivers now. She comes onto the GP circuit again. Beetlejuice now as well. There's still roughly 3 minutes and yeah, Beetlejuice going slow. Maybe the tire temperatures will drop here as well. Oscar approaching the end of the Dettinger. Here is Dylan as well with some damage, so the outlap wasn't the best. Run damage is gone, so he should be fine. Here is Taz, who is the last driver on track. River starting now the run onto the Dettinger. Richie, Furious, and Lemony dropped all the way to the back. So will he be able to cross the line in time? 2.5 minutes. Let's see Dashi. Racing line pretty much dry. Now the edge is still wet, so it's okay. Kasa enduring on those softs. Need to be careful. They are on the Nordschleife now into Hatzenbach. Curbs wet, but I think you can already attack if you're not full on the gas. Kurt also now on the Nordschleife. Here comes Thomas entering Sabine Schmidt's curve and goes onto the wild right, the green hell. Same for Prodigy. Until the end of the GP, and yeah, it's pretty much dry here on that racing line. Let's see if everyone crossed that line. Lemony's still waiting. He's waiting for the best possible conditions. There's roughly a minute. Furious is on the GP track. Now he spins now. The tires are too cold. Now, can he get that car running? No damage for now, and still a couple of seconds. So he's coming through the Hohenrhein chicane now with 30 seconds on the clock now. So he's underway. Everybody is on their flying lap. There she is on his way to set the first timed lap. He just came out of the carousel, now approaching the highest point on the track, die Hohe 8 Sektion. Tire wear not an issue. Fuel I don't think yet it's enabled. So ignore me. Kasa has opened up a gap to Düring on that lap. So far this looks very much perfect conditions after 15 minutes. Now for those soft tires. So if you stay on that racing line, you should be fine to set a fast lap time. And Lemony now at the end of the GP track through the NGK chicane. And now starts his run on the Nordschleife part of the track. Dashi into Schwalbenschwanz. 7:30 coming, roughly, yeah, 30 coming out of the kleine Karussell. We'll keep an eye on the delta that shows on the Döttinger Höhe. I think there's the split sector. This should be a good indicator. Seeing, so 7:50 roughly, 7:48 for Dashi. Kesa coming into the Brünnchen section, coming out of it. Pflanzgarten it is. He will be approaching very soon. So out of Brünnchen now towards Eiskurve. It's very aggressive. We're going down the little jump. Then right-hander. 8:36 for Dashi. And we saw that 7:48.9 coming on to Döttinger Höhe. 11 seconds purple for Kesa. That's probably the guy to beat qualifying if he keeps it on the track now. Kleines Karussell. A little bit of a wiggle. Kept that car under control. Now Galgenkopf double right, and then we see that sector that is 7:35, 36, 7:36. Okay, Sadiring. It's roughly 6 seconds the gap. Kurt with some massive damage. And he had to abandon his lap. Where's Thomas? Will he be close to Dashi's time? I say, oh, he's close to Deering's time. That's 7:42. Still 6 seconds slower than Kesa. Kesa with that 8:23. And Deering with the 8:29 becomes Prodigy, not as quick as Thomas and Deering, more in the ballpark area with Dashi. That gamble probably didn't work for Prodigy. Beetlejuice with a 35. That is massive. That's a second faster than Kesa. The track now, of course, completely dry. Thomas with a new 7:29 split sector. It's another 6-7 seconds. Dylan, not quite there, lost a little bit, unable to get that 7:29. Still a couple of seconds, so still top 4 or 5 maybe doable. Let's see, roughly the same as Thomas and Deering. It's Tess, and as expected, Beetlejuice with a 8:22. And it will be Oscar to set the new fastest lap. Tess with roughly 8 minutes. Oscar at 8:16. Didn't catch Rivers' time. Richie on a good one. Furious. 38 also not too shabby, and then let's see what Lebanese time will be. Did he get a clean run? Delivered at 8:30, that puts him P6 currently. River with a 25, that's P4. There is Richie. Could be P2 for Richie. That one, let's see. Oh, it's close! Oh, just missed out on P2. The Furious 24, 25. It's P5, and then we're waiting for Lemony. 7:25 for now. It was a 7:29 for Oscar. That's a bit behind. 7:35, 6 seconds. It will be close between Lemony, Beetle, and Richie, and who gets onto the front row. It's just flat out now. Of course, there's one braking zone now. Tiergarten into Hohenrhein. Then it's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. No! It's P4 for Lemony. But this is mighty close. P2, 3, 4, 5. Not much separating them. Oscar with a magic lap. He had really problems on that outlap. Spun many times, but then he got the confidence and he nailed that flying lap in tricky conditions. And yeah, that grid is definitely mixed up. So we wait then for timer to finish. Still results on the right hand side, so Oscar Beetle on that front row, Richie and Lemony, row number 2, Keza and Fields, and on that third row, River and Deering, row number 4, we have the all Irish row, Thomas and Dylan. Dashi on those intermediates. He beat Prodigy, Taz, and Kurt with that strategy, so not too bad. Only by the super sub in the M class Oscar, who is on pole position. I think. Thomas. Thomas is also in that M class, so sorry Thomas, didn't see you there. But yeah, and there she said he wanted to eat his cookies, so didn't bother waiting and it's and whatever. Yeah. And we have Prodigy, Taz, Kurt, and Shred, who missed the qualifying, will be starting from the back. Then it probably won't be too bad, because the start of the race will be very interesting with these conditions, like we saw in the qualifying. First 7, 8, maybe 10 minutes. I think it's intermediates for all the drivers. Do one lap on the inters, come in, and then switch over to the softs or the slick tires. There's no mandatory tire compound today, so basically every compound can be used. And I bring up weather forecast again. So we're looking at now like 20 odd minutes in. There's no rain anymore, and this could probably mean just see a wet track at the start for the first 10 minutes, and it will be a dry period up until that R07, R08 slots. This will be heavy downpour again for Then what's that? 45 minutes in, maybe 40, 45 minutes, something like that. It will ease off a little bit, and not sure if it will pick up again with hour 1, hour 6. Usually, knowing the game, it doesn't, so it will be interesting to see if drivers go onto the heavy wets for the hour 7, hour 8 slots, or will they try to survive on the inters and then finish the race? Or yeah, go aggressive wets and then switch to a slick tire compound again. Yeah, Kaiser, this is new. It's you basically get a full lap no matter what you enter, like in the overrun. Yeah, new things. So we were also surprised, but some say it's a bug, some say it's a feature. I feel like I like the idea that you have qualifier plus one lap no matter what. But here it's it's too long. Like 10 minutes with a 15-minute session on top. But whatever. We take what we get. So yeah, bit of a longer break then, of course, for everyone to get ready into the wait for grid to be set by the host, and then we can start in 7 laps of green hell racing with some weather involved in this round number 6. Here, just bring up the schedule. So second half of the season starts today. Nürburgring 24-hour layout. Follow Spa, St. Croix, Tokyo, and Montreal as well. Then in the upcoming weeks. And as Ken mentioned in chat, Rockstar features 2BD. Yeah, exactly. So prove me wrong if it's not a bug. So Lemony and Kurt, they left the room, so they probably don't want to race. Always here for the death and nothing else. Alright. I'm pretty sure we will see a couple of spinneroonies today in those conditions. It as a if you watch qualifying, so the first lap will be intermediates, then you have to go, I think, onto the softs for that second lap already, and it might be a little bit wet. So this could be very interesting. Lap 3 onwards, it should be okay, but then I think lap 5 out of 7, we should see the rain again, and like the rain will come in hard. And with that long lap, if you're midway through that lap, and yep, that will be, I think, the interesting part for the drivers and also us here, spectate mode. So I've been there a couple of times, like myself when I was driving in a series at the Nürburgring with really crazy weather all the time, like changing from sun to heavy rain to mixed conditions, back and forth all the time, and it's basically you're always on the wrong tire compound here. Right, then you're waiting for Kurt. Kurt is setting something. Then let's go racing. Come on. And let's see the weather. See what happened. We don't see what will be happening again. Um, it's not a bug, it's a feature. So this is basically race start now, those conditions. So the worst is over, but it's still a wet track for that first lap. And then basically the next 10 minutes, no more rain. Then it's up in the air. Any update? When can we start? Also a CTC match currently happening. And I need to look at this as well later on, so come on, hurry up. Tick tock it is. Could be that those settings, I have seen them past. It looks like Kurt is back with us. There we go. So then tick in and then we can go racing. Oh no, he left again. Yes. Apparently no luck staying in that lobby or whatsoever. I feel like I've been here before, so I was doing a broadcast yesterday and also like sitting around for 20 minutes because people couldn't join the lobby stuff. So in the end, yeah, we had to start without one driver because they just couldn't stay in the lobby. Yeah, have to make those decisions at some point. Can't have 50 other waiting forever. Looks like he's ticked on. I think that's unfortunate ENS occurred and get this underway. Oh, we are doing a new lobby. Oh, we don't. This could mean we could also get different weather. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Yeah. So I bring up just there's the standings. Standings are 5 rounds. So yeah, close gaps between the teams. But I have a bad feeling that Bobby said exactly nothing. Back up. Hope. Fingers crossed, everybody. Start the race. It's time. For real. It's ticked in at the moment. Okay. The weather. We have different weather. You see a change in pattern. It looks different. Looks a bit different, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's a different pattern. So, but it's dry and there will be more rain this time. Okay. So no one knows what's gonna happen. So maybe that lobby reset wasn't too bad. Oh, and we're starting the race. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There is everything. Your race. That. And as long as everybody's ticked in. So quick check. Hazards on inters. Medium softs. We have a mixture inters for Richie. Inters for River as well. The grid order is not correct. So don't want to see that. It's like we are doing this for the first time. So people, come on. The weather should still be the same. Not racing yet. It will be third time lucky. On the right hand side, and to the update, see Oscar on pole, which is P2. Yeah, and this might give the drivers a little bit food for thought, like, was this the compound I was starting on the correct one? Oscar, Beetle, Richie, Lamini, Kaza, Furious, River, Bing, Thomas, Dylan, Dashi, Prodigy, Skirt, Shred. Alright, I feel like this could be the grid. Qualifying. And let's go. So it's definitely a dry start. But then when will the rain hit the track and how much rain will come down? Okay, let's try this again. Looks a bit better. Intermediates, softs, intermediates, softs. Still mediums, intermediates. It will be a wild start, and we're off. Not the best start for Oscar. Beetlejuice will get in front, probably braking for turn number 1. And there's Lemony squeezed in around the outside. Maybe Richie. Lemony up to P2. Maybe Oscar with a good run out of the first chicane. Gets in front. On softs, Lemony on softs P2. Then Beetlejuice on the intermediates. P3. Interestingly, the intermediates had a good start off the line. Kaza up to P4. He's on the softs. Richie is on the inters. Deering is on softs. Gets the run on Furious, who is going a bit deep. Furious on intermediates. Dashy is on inters. Kurt Shred on inters. Prodigy on inters. Taz on inters. So I think the slick tire runners, they're now making their moves towards the front of that grid, while the intermediate tire runners have some trouble now with the grip. Here Beetlejuice, bit of a cork in the bottle for now. Deering on his softs, needs to get past. I think gets a little bit of a bump on his teammate Thomas. He sends it through the chicane. Beetle in P5, Thomas P6. So Beetle, the first driver on those intermediates. How long will they last? Will they completely die before the rain hits? That's the question. Richie on the inters. Dylan is on the mediums. That is, I think, the craziest strategy so far. Inters, softs, and one driver on medium tires. River on the inters. Furious, Shred, both on the inters. And we see the rain is starting to fall when we go through the Hudson Baths section for the first time. A couple of issues. Prodigy, bit of a gap. Let's see track conditions. Lemony moves into the lead with a good run into Flugplatz. And rain is falling now. It's not hard rain at the moment, but it probably will increase throughout that lap. So can those 5 drivers on the soft tire compound survive the first lap? Beetle and Richie and Dylan on his inters. I think his strategy is pretty much effed. I don't want to swear too much, but yeah, the rain is coming down into Fuchsröhre, and this could be tricky for the slick tire runners now. It's still below that first bar, but the rain is falling down. And Dylan unable to get past the intermediate runners for now. He's a little bit stuck at the moment. And we are approaching intermediate territory soon. Lemony and Oscar 1-2. Now the rain is heavy. It will get tricky. Kaza in third. Deering and Thomas with that like risky strat. It's still manageable, I think, for now. Also the intermediates, we see tire wear already quite severe after those first couple of laps. Dylan on his mediums has the best tire wear, I think. And conditions are still okay, but we are not even halfway through the lap. Dylan with the better run into Niki Lauda. Kinnick. Dylan nearly touches the grass. Brakes late, brakes too late into Bergwerk and says hello to Barry. This was the risk always now. We're above that first bar, and it probably won't be getting better. It doesn't seem to be raining that much anymore. So I don't know. Here we have quite tricky conditions now for the soft tire runners coming into the run to the carousel uphill. Top two, no drama so far. Keza as well, Deering in fourth, and Thomas with a little gap. The intermediates should now be able to close that gap again. Carousel now tricky, unable to keep that low line for Lemony. Gets the power, has some traction still into the technical, really technical part of the track. And this is where you need all the traction. You get the downforce. And this is very, very slow compared to a fast lap. So it's punching up again at the front. We see some more headlights in the distance through Wipperman. We go, Lemony still in that lever. We see, I think, the intermediate tire runners, Beetlejuice, Ritchie, River, they are closing that gap as well. Yeah, let's go to River in P8, and yeah, basically one big group again. Someone went a bit wide. That could be Thomas, who is struggling now for grip. Or was it Deering? No, it's Thomas around the outside for Ritchie. River behind, 2.5 seconds. That gap just. Then let's see who else is close. Everyone basically. Dylan also on his medium, surviving so far. Lemony is still leading, and the rain hasn't picked up that much, so I think they just survived for now. It's still like a tricky section, Schwalbschanze here. So far we see one big troop of cars line astern. We go for Beetlejuice coming out of the Kleine Karussell with more grip alongside, around the outside, against Deering at Galgenkopf, and he moves up into P3. But the intermediates are basically shot, and someone went wide. I think that was Oscar out of Galgenkopf, went onto the grass. Now we have two wide, through wide situations on the Döttinger Höhe. For the soft tires, the tire wear doesn't look too bad. But those intermediates, don't know. Probably they have to pit. The guys on the inters, yeah, they don't think they will survive another lap. It's not raining anymore. So I still don't know what was the better call in this instance. We go too wide 3 times through Tiergarten into the Hohenrhein chicane. Come on, people brake early. And it looks like everyone survived for now, so who will be pitting this lap? I think Beetlejuice has no other choice. Deering stays out. Lemony as well. They were starting on the soft, they survived. To the intermediate runners, they have to pit. The tire wear was just too much for them. So, we have Deering in the lead. Suddenly, Shred, P2, he stayed out on the inters. Ooh, this might have been a mistake. I heard something happening. Where is Deering? Deering spun. What happened to Deering? Oh, he went deep, way too deep into the gravel. He used the handbrake. So we have Shred in the lead. Oops, wrong camera. On just intermediate tires. I don't know, but it's wet. It's still wet on the GP track. So with the soft tires, the tire wear looks okay. Lemony, Oscar, Keza gets a little bit too deep. Gives Thomas the opportunity to move up into P4 overall. Dylan, all his mediums, maybe This was the brilliant idea for Dylan. I have no clue, but it's exciting. Lap 2 already. And it's probably the driver's also second guessing their choices. Kurt also started on the mediums, didn't see that. So he's in P8. Then we see the guys that pitted. Richie onto the mediums. River as well, Beetlejuice. Dashi onto a soft tire compound. The Furious 2 is on the mediums, Taz on mediums, and Prodigy having a bit of a hard time at the back currently, but never give up. It's just lap 2 out of 7, so let's see if he can get up to pace on the mediums. Still, the conditions very tricky, and so far if it stays wet like this, then those intermediates could survive for that lap. But as soon as we see some dry bits and pieces on the racing line, then shred tires will be gone, and this won't be pretty at all. But crazy to see like the different strategies. Also Lemony at a moment down to P7, 10 seconds that gap to the leaders, 2.5 to Deering in front, to his right with Dylan, who started on those mediums. It's still tricky here at Flugplatz, but with the heat that went into the tires, it looks like enough grip to go. Oscar with a moment, not the best run out of Flugplatz into Schwedenkreuz now, and it's single file, break early for Arenberg. You don't want to run deep. Ew, someone went too deep. Who was it? Oscar, I think. Replay again. Dylan is behind Oscar. Let's see if there was some contact. Oh yeah, Dylan lost control. So he's backing out of it. He knew like it was his mistake, so he lets Oscar pass again. But yeah, I knew like something had to happen. Travis being that close into that braking zone, and still wet on slick tires. What's the gap for Shred? So he has nearly 10 seconds to P2. That is Thomas at the moment, and I see the tire wear is creeping up on those fronts, so it's already 85% now, and there's no more rain, I think. So this is now gets very tricky for Shred. The tires will die probably before the carousel, and then it's still 4 minutes. And on this lap, the Thomas, Kaza, Deering, 2, 3, 4, Lemony in P5 in striking distance. Then you have Dylan, Richie, Bird, River, Beetle, Oscar with another moment. Didn't see that, so he dropped down to P11, but he is still at the back of this group. Here, those that pitted already, and they are just 16 seconds off the lead. Also Furious with them. Then we have a bit of a gap. Taz, Dashi and Prodigy with an unlucky start to the race so far. Back to the lead. Shred, that gap went down 8 seconds. Yeah, it's dry now. You can see the tires melting now, corner after corner. So into the carousel we go. We just survived that with basically dead tires, but yeah, it's basically just over the halfway mark of this long lap. Now Kaza in the lead of this chase group, steering behind Lemony and Thomas, who went from P2 to P5. Dylan still close, 2.4. Richie as well. Richie, who pitted in the first of the pit stoppers on the mediums, just 12 seconds. River also not too far behind. Let's go back to Shred. 5 seconds here, so you can see that gap going down, 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 the same as his front tires. So out of Brünchen up towards Eiskurve into Pflanzgarten, it's 3.3, 3.2, probably understeer galore, and for the Cardome in 2 seconds. Pflanzgarten and the pack, the chase group is back now, 1.5, carrying so much more speed. Steering just behind Kaza, and they will catch Shred before Schwalbenschwanz, probably. So much more speed, had to back out a little bit. Shred understeers like crazy onto the grass. He survives somewhat, but loses 3 positions down to P4. Thomas right behind again. P5 it is, and it will be one tricky corner left. The Galgenkopf double right-hander. Can he stay on track? Those tires. He is slow, touching the grass, but lost that position to Dylan. Richie got past, and River as well. So staying out for one more lap didn't really work for Shred. And now we have the slipstream battle on the long straight. Kaza leads, he's on soft steering as well, and again going past Lemony, gives Steering a bump draft past Kaza. Steering into the lead, Lemony P2, Kaza P3. All 3 drivers are on those soft tires. They can easily do one more. But I don't have access to the weather radar. But it looks like it will be dry now for at least this lap. Thomas comes in. That's interesting. He doesn't trust those softs. So this means we have Dylan in P4, Richie P5, River P6, Kurt in 7th, Beetlejuice P8, Furious in 9th position, Dashi P10, Taz in 11, Thomas, Shred and Oscar, they're in the pits. So what do they see, what we don't see? I don't know. It is fresh softs. It is a fresh set of soft tires for Oscar. Shred as well. Maximum fuel and soft tires, and Prodigy goes on finishing the outlap on the mediums. Close that gap to the drivers in front with their pit stops now as well, so he's closer to the mid-pack again. At the front we see Deering with a good run on the GP track, second to Lemony and Kaza. So those 3, they have roughly the same pace at the moment. Then we have the medium tire runners, Dylan since the start, who survived the first 2 laps on those mediums. Richie started on the inters, went on to the mediums. River did the same team strategy for Schnell Fast Racing. Beetlejuice also started on the intermediates, is on the mediums. Kurt, who started on the mediums, P8 currently, Furious right behind in 9th position. Little gap then to Dashi, who is on the soft tires at the moment. Taz on the mediums. Is he closing that gap? I don't know. Then we have the guys that pitted the end of lap number 2 and went on to fresh softs. That is Thomas Oscar and Shred and Prodigy P15. But those mediums going for a different strategy. Probably a little bit of time to breathe now and let the race unfold. So I still reckon that round lap number 5 we will get that RO7 rain, that heavy rain falling down. So for now we are approaching those random slots, and they are usually just like cloudy or sunny conditions. And the top 3 started on those softs. Pretty sure they have to pit at the end of this lap. And then will they go on to softs again and wait until the rain hits the track. The drivers on the mediums, they have a bit more flexibility with their strategy now. They don't have to pit. The fuel also looks okay, so maybe if they survive and will have to do a pit stop less than everybody else, they could look at a very strong result. Now, what is this? There's rain. Really? There's random rain happening now. Let's stay on board and see that development. So yeah, it's picking up again the track, that rain from above. So the drivers have to be careful once again. What's it gonna look like for the leaders? So still manageable. But this is like a real roller coaster. Now it's heavy rain. We are coming out of Bergwerk, the run through the Kesselchen section. Uphill we go, approaching the Mood Kurve, the bravery corner. And it's wet, so you probably have to lift, brake as well, drop a gear, 4th gear. No drama for Deering, Lemony and Kaz as well, so they manage those conditions for now. Dylan a bit wide. Richie lost a little bit of contact, and there's a yellow flag. What happened? It's Deering, I think. Where is Deering? Yeah, he was the lead car. Brake too late, and then hits the barrier, and then it's tricky, of course, on slick tires, wet. He needs the traction control to somewhat get that car going again. That's P6, and another yellow flag. Who is it? Oh no, I think that was Richie. Replay time. Oof, what happened to Richie? Oh, too much curb, and oh, a big one. Yeah, so everybody who wanted to see some death, you got it. So we have sun again after that short little downpour. And Lemony leading Keza P2 and River up to P3 on the medium, so he's now in a very good position if he can keep it without any incidents. Beetle choose in P4, Current up to P5, the Furious 2 P6. Dylan in 7th probably also had a moment. Deering and Richie, the drivers that had some crashes on that track. Thomas and Oscar P10, P11, Dashi in P12. Shred. Something happened to Shred. As well, he's tasked with some front damage as well in P14, and Prodigy gaining on the cars in front for now. So I think the rain has stopped now. We have sun. That is like the Nürburgring in a nutshell. 4 seasons within a lap. And the leaders, Lamini and Kaza, both on the soft tire since the start. We see drivers taking the grass line out of Galgenkopf. So they have to pit now, pretty sure. Those soft tires won't make another lap. And this will mean River Ruckus, the strategy king, the Rainmaster, will most likely lead this race. Starting lap number 4. So see Kaza and Lamini going side by side, braking for the chicane. Lamini goes too deep and gets a reset. Oh, unlucky. Don't think that was best idea to go side by side through this. So River leading, Beetle P2 and Kaza into the pits as expected. Lamini is in the pits as well. Kurt up to P3, who started on the mediums. Furious 4th, Richie after the incident in P5. Dylan in P6, still just 5 seconds the gap. Hear some weird noises. Oscar already up to P7. Thomas in 8th. There's a yellow flag. Kurt with a moment. Oh, big one. Kurt with massive damage. I think was just a bit too aggressive on the throttle. Ooh. They just spun in front. That's unlucky. Also River was involved into that incident, so he dropped from P1 to P3. The Beetlejuice are leading. I don't know where to look. This is a crazy race for sure. So Beetle leading, Furious P2, River P3, Dylan in 4th, Oscar already up to P5, then Richie, Kurt and Thomas. We see the pit stoppers. Kaza is on a new set of softs, same as Lamini, just 1.3 seconds to gap. Difference in fuel, yeah. Lamini short fueled a little bit to get into the slipstream range. I reckon Deering as well is on soft tires, not too far behind. Shred in P12 on slightly worn tires, so pitted a bit earlier. Another yellow flag. What happened? It's very wet here. True. I think it was Deering, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks sunny. But I think the edges. No, it wasn't Deering. Oh, there was a double spin. Ooh, Lamini and Deering. Well, let's see that again. Lamini started with the spin. And I think, yeah, and Deering just joined him instantly. Oh, what is going on? People, Prodigy still in P15, gap down to 7.5 seconds to Dashi. And another 9-2 test. We have Deering in P12 on those fresh soft tires. How much can you push? Shred in P11, Lamini up to P10 again after the little spin. Kaza in P9. I see some dark clouds on the horizon again, so rain is approaching. Once again, Kurt in 8th after that the spin out of the first chicane. Thomas versus Richie. Richie is slow exit down Fuchsröhre. They go side by side for a brief moment. Richie keeps that inside line. They brake for Adenauer forced. They make it. No, they don't make it. Thomas flips a little bit off a wet patch and then loses the car. Let's see that from Thomas as he goes already over the curb. Richie's on the inside, giving him room, and then Drake's, and then yeah, just there was a wet patch, and yeah, damage. Just a position lost, so it's crazy times happening here. Furious in P5. Let's move up the order again. Oscar pushing Dylan again forward. 3.8 seconds, 4 seconds now to the leaders, and that is River Ruckus again. So he got past Beetlejuice. Both are on a similar strategy. Beetlejuice, though, has a bit more fuel compared to River. And here we see blue skies with some light clouds. It's unpredictable, this race, this weather. And I think Beetlejuice achieved what he had in mind, a chaotic race. So could be still anyone's race, I guess. Dylan and Oscar, they are trying to close the gap. It's 5 seconds now, lost a little bit of time. Furious 2 seconds. Still in striking distance. The same goes for Richie in P6. Thomas and Kaza is on the outlap. How much time can he gain? This is very dry here now. I think maximum attack now throughout this lap. Let me another 5 seconds. Behind 4.5 for Shred. Deering trying to close that gap. Kurt with another moment. See him saw him running with the damage. Dropped down to P12. His mediums are not looking that good, and it gets a little bit foggy already. Taz 1.3 behind Kurt. This could get interesting. Dashi and Prodigy had a good run so far. 11 seconds for now. The cap to Dashi. Let's see if we can get a look at the lovely skies. So yeah, overcast again here, and the rain is lurking in the area with a heavy downpour. We are 33 minutes in, so yeah, still have a feeling that we will see the rain on lap 5. Fuel should be enough for River to do one more lap, so he's not forced to pit yet. But there's rain. There is rain. Where is that coming from? It didn't look like rain. Maybe just a few drops. I don't know. Or maybe now we see the. Oh yeah, that's picking up quickly again, the rain. So the drivers at the front, they might get lucky again. So here, no, not really heavy rain, but they're coming towards the Döttinger Höhe now. Windshield wipers are going, and it looks like they might just survive the straight before a heavy rain. Now it hits the track. Oscar up to P3, a good run. Dylan in P4. It's light rain, but there is heavy rain on the forecast, so pretty sure the drivers will have an eye on the weather radar themselves, and it's picking up for the drivers behind. Only Döttinger Höhe, so River, Beetle, they are fine. No issues coming into Hohenrhein Chicane. So they will be pitting, I guess, now with That, yeah, just in time. What a timing. Oscar as well into the pits. Dylan survived. No! He drifts it into a pit lane. Thomas, what a pit entry it was. Will it be okay? 3 seconds? I don't know. Everyone now coming into the pits, of course. Crazy things happening in this race. I mean, I've seen plenty of interesting and crazy stuff, but this is like probably one of the most chaotic races so far I have seen. And the Prodigy also survived that bit through the chicane. He goes. I think he just makes it before the heavy downpour. So we have intermediates for Beetlejuice, intermediates for River, intermediates for Oscar. Dylan with that. Oh, you hear the heavy rain now. Let's go on board. Treacherous conditions now here at the Nürburgring. So yeah, Dylan survived it somewhat. At pit entry, no penalty. 10 out of 10 style points. But we are getting into the heavy rain part. Let's go further down the grid. Lap 5 out of 7. It looks like everyone is using the inters so far. Yeah, no one opted to go on to the wets. But it's heavy wet conditions, at least for now. Kurt will go steep into the Goodyear hairpin. And yeah, everybody running on the intermediates. So I think the goal is now to survive and then finish the race on this tire compound. Same conditions for everybody on the same intermediate tire compound. And we are getting into the really heavy period with the rain. Now that should last for, I think, lap 5 and lap 6. And the question will be, final lap, what to do. Do you change tires? With that heavy rain, at least you don't get tire wear on those inters, so they will probably last for 3 laps. So top 3 with a little gap, they're separated by 2 seconds, then we have 5 seconds to Dylan and Kaza, P4 and P5. Thomas and Richie trying to close that gap. Another 3 seconds to Lemony and to Shred. Furious in 10th position during another 2 seconds the gap. And then we have the biggest gap between groups at the moment. Dashi, P12, Kurt struggling with the lines and loses the position to Taz now. So Taz up into P13, Kurt P14, and Prodigy hopes for the best conditions on track compared with the leaders. So we all know that little bit of a glitch, like with the rain. The leaders, they have definitely worse conditions than the drivers at the back. And Kiko is in the chat. Come on, Keza. Yeah, he's still in it. I think that's probably half of the grid on lap 5. Those are the survival minutes now for the drivers. P5 less than 7 seconds, so I think they're gaining now. Yeah, now we see that effect. Beetlejuice on that, yeah, with heavy wet conditions, and drivers behind, they get better conditions already. So every driver, the amount of water on the track is reduced. So that gap is coming down. Hello, Richie and Thomas. Bit of a robust move. Should also help Lemony and Shred. So 11 seconds separating P1 and P9 at this stage. During with 5 seconds, I think had a little bit of a moment. Was closer to Shred and Furious as well. 15 seconds, so opportunity for Dashi, Taz, Kurt and Prodigy maybe to close the gap. Little with a good run though, 2.3 seconds, so he's feeling those conditions. He definitely opened up the gap to River. That was less than 2, 1.5 I think last time, and now we see the grid bunching up again behind River 2.3, and then we see Oscar, Dylan, Kaza, probably also Richie and Thomas. Ooh, Oscar with a moment onto the grass before the braking zone. This is, let's go to Oscar's perspective. Good news for River. There's just one line through the carousel. High early. Is this the better line for the exit? I don't know. Dylan with a good run. Kaza as well. They're looking left and right. Is there a gap somewhere to send it? Oscar again struggling, going over the grass and losing 1, maybe 2 positions. Yeah, Kaza also not passed up to P4, but yeah, crazy close racing. Here, Dylan, Kaza, Oscar, Thomas. Oh, someone went wide. I think that was Richie with some damage as well. Short look at the replay. What happened to Richie? Oops, the curb. And sent him straight into the barrier. Losing more positions. Down to P9. Lemony up to P6, just 5 seconds, so he really benefited for now. All of this battling, and this is like the crazy train. Dylan, Kaza, Oscar, Lemony, Thomas, Shred as well in that group. And they're just 3.5 seconds behind Beetle. Who now comes into Schwanz. That's 1.5 seconds, so River gained some time. Coming out of the Kleine Carousel, and it's 1.8. Dylan with a good run, so they will catch River on the long Göttinger Höhe as well. So I think we see one big group very, very soon again. And that group goes all the way to Thomas, maybe even Shred. So Shred just outside of the slipstream. And let's see the run. It's 4 seconds for Oscar, from Thomas to Beetlejuice. Oscar is in P5, but the gap is coming down, 3.9. Will we see some moves? .6. Beetle keeps that lead. Dylan got past River, and Kaza followed him, so River from P2 down to P4. Nothing he could do probably with that slip. Oscar right behind now in P5. Lemony P6. We are starting the penultimate lap now, lap 6. It's still wet, so no one remotely thinking of pitting, now going for some slick tires. And 2.5 the gap to the leaders, 3 seconds separating the top 6. I see side by side into the first braking zone. Kaza on the inside, going past Dylan, up into P2 for now. The gap to Beetlejuice 1.7, so we have one big lead group again. River 4th, Oscar P5, Lemony P6, Thomas P7, and Richie and Shred. They are fighting. You know, they shouldn't do that. So they can still catch that group 1.7. So Richie, Shred, and also Deering. So the top 10 within 5 seconds. Richie goes a little bit deep. Can he bring it back? Yeah. No real drama. And the hunt is on. Less than a second for Beetlejuice. I think we need to go to this camera now. The river nearly touched the gravel, lost some momentum. Oscar with the opportunity. Also Lemony with the run inside before the chicane. They go single file. So Dylan stays in P3. Ooh, Oscar was Lemony side by side. Okay, no. Lemony backing out of it for now. And it's still 2.2 Beatles, so it's still 10 drivers in that fight, basically for the win. So 4.6 separating P1 and P10, Richie in P10, Deering P9, Shred in 8th, Thomas in the mid, P7, River P6, Lemony in 5th, Oscar 4th, Dylan P3, Kaza 2, and Beetle P1. And here we go, we have that one big train again going up towards Flugplatz, and it's still raining. We hear it, we see it. Can they keep it clean? No, someone went a little bit wide. That was Dylan, I think. He touched the grass. Also in the distance, we see the two Irish drivers, same team, Thomas and Deering. So they had also a little bit of a struggle coming out of Flugplatz. Oh, and someone at a moment, I think that was Lemony. No, it was Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice spun it. What happened? Let's go to Kaza's perspective. So through Schwedenkreuz. And then, oh, not sure, a bit of leg contact. But Beetle fell victim. Yeah, I think he's still not out of this. P10, 5.6 seconds. 2 seconds to Richie. We need to see the front. Kaza now in the lead. Oscar P2, the two reserve drivers leading this race on the penultimate lap. Still, it's rainy. The track. Intermediate conditions, definitely. Lemony in 3rd position. River P4. Shredder all the way up to P5, started last after missing the qualifying. Dylan in 6th, Deering, Thomas, the two teammates. Don't talk too fast. Richie in P9, and Beetle, he is back 3.6 seconds. So let's have a look at probably the beaten drivers. Furious 2 in P11, Dashi in 12th, Taz right behind Kurt, and Prodigy. I feel sorry for Mr. TEC today. At the back of the grid for the entire race. We need to get back to the lead group. Kessler goes deep into Bergberg, losing probably 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 positions with that little mistake. And Oscar is in the lead. Lemony P2, River P3. Where is Kessler from P1 to P7? We're still in that slipstream range. And 3 seconds separating the top 10. So you still can't tell who has the best chances for a win today. Mutkurve. Let's see the next tricky section. Someone went a little bit too wide. I think that was Oscar. So Lemony goes into the lead. And and there's contact. Oscar got hit. Was it red? I don't know. So Oscar with that wide line, speed, and then it was the River. River waiting for Oscar, and he tapped him. So I think we are now approaching the elimination phase of this race. So River 10th, Oscar 9th, probably out of contention. Beetlejuice in P8 with 3 seconds that gap, so he's still in it. Thomas P7, Richie P6, Keza P5, Deering in 4th, Dylan 3rd, Shred in 2nd, and Lemony leading that race back to Jägercam. Actually, you see that it's still hard to tell what will happen, what has this race left in store for us. Half a second for Lemony now out of Pflanzgarten, and the guys behind, they're keeping up with him. See, Beetlejuice lost a little bit. 3.8. I think we go to Thomas, who is at the back of this group for the win. 7/10, getting a decent run out of das kleine Karussell, and now Galgenkopf needs a good run, a good slip. It looks like he's in it. Less than 2 seconds, the gap. Now for the penultimate time, we go down the Döttinger Höhe. We see slipstream battles and someone opening up a second lane. Who is it? I don't know. It was Shred for a brief moment. It has vanished. So they decided to bump draft instead. So we stay like this, probably braking. Water chicane. We have 7 cars. Still very close. With 2.4 seconds separating. Everyone's staying out. Not going for slick tires now, probably. There's not enough time to gain back the time you lose during the pit stop. Keza looking for a sneaky move, undercut maybe on Dylan. Deering blocked the inside, maybe so. Deering moves up and Keza with a push. And he used Deering, and then Keza nearly losing the position again to Dylan, and maybe also the position to Richie. It is P6 into the hairpin, downhill we go. And it's bunching up again. Where is Beetlejuice? 1.7. River caught Beetle again. So he had a good clean run. But he needs some help. Beetle needs to get closer to Thomas and the group in front. So we are leaving the GP track now any second. Lemony is still in that lead. 7/10 to Shred. Deering with the run, Shred defending the line into the chicane. So we go single file again through that. And now one last ride on the Nordschleife. So River has more pace now, got past Beetle but 2 seconds. So yeah, needs to rely on a little bit of some drama in front to stand a chance. Lemony now opening up a little gap, 1.2 up to 1.4. Shred's struggling a little bit, maybe fighting too much against Deering and Dylan. That is definitely good news for Lemony now, 1.6. Keza versus Richie. And oh, someone was very wide. Who was it? I think Thomas, a little bit of an off track, but he kept it. Schwedenkreuz, we are braking for Arenberg again. Thomas too wide onto the grass. Now he's a passenger. Somehow he survives. But this is the opportunity for River, of course, to get some slipstream. We see something happening. Deering lost a couple of positions, dropped down to P6. So Keza P5, Richie P4. It's getting dark now as well. Will we see some rain again? I don't know. What's the gap? Lemony 2.4 seconds now. This really helped him behind Shred. In P2, second to Dylan. In third, Richie P4 over the grass. They cannot control it, so he's out of this one, I think. He needs to rejoin in a safe way, and River up to P6, 7 seconds, 8 seconds to get to leaders. So Richie drops down to P8, Beetle P9, Oscar also closing the gap in P10. Pushing a bit too much, getting some damage as well, and this is now really intense, not gonna lie. Richie behind Thomas, then a gap to River, who has 1.7 seconds to Deering with 1.2 to Keza, who has another 1.8 to Dylan. Dylan a second to Shred, and Lemony 3 seconds now. The run upwards. 3.2 had a great run out of Bergwerk, 3.2. Dylan closing the gap, less than a second to Shred. Battle for P2 maybe. Keza in P4, 1.8, doesn't get any help uphill. And we see side by side between River and Deering. Come on, camera, give us something. So I need to go to the chase cam, I think. Into Mutkurve we go. Deering's tires struggling a little bit now. Let's see River also. River's tires even worse. So I think everyone now on a trying track with very worn intermediates will suffer. Let's see Lemony. Whoa, look at Lemony's tires. I mean, he did a really good job. So that's why he's gaining on the rest of the grid now. Shred in P2. Dylan roughly the same tire wear. Kaza also tires in a good position, but the gap is going in the wrong direction for him. River and Deering, they are both struggling with their tires. Maybe an opportunity for... no, there's a yellow flag. It's Kaza. Kaza spun it. What happened? Maybe too aggressive, used too much curb. Let's see. Weird one. Definitely a weird one. So Kaza down to P8, just in front of Beetlejuice and Oscar. They are all now really struggling with the tires, and still roughly 2.5 minutes to go. Lemony up to 5 seconds nearly. That gap. And he is leaving Pflanzgarten, so through Stefan Beloves. 5 seconds now the gap. Approaching Schwalbenschwanz. Tread in P2. Keeps that gap to Dylan roughly at a second. Oh, a bit of a weird run. It should be okay. River in P4 fighting against steering, braking for the entry of Schwalbenschwanz. Stays in front for now. All important now to get a good clean run out of Kleine Karussell and Galgenkopf onto the Dettinger Höhe. So Kleine Karussell was okay. Deering's tires a little bit better, so will that help him for the run onto the Dettinger Höhe? He's close, might have the advantage if they keep it on track. So yeah, Deering should have the advantage. He's going side by side very early. We go to the front. See Lemony 4.8, 8, 9 tenths for Shred as well, so he should be okay. Deering versus River tucks into the slipstream, might get the run before the Bilstein bridge. Yeah, River again, and we see also in the distance side-by-side racing action everywhere. Not sure where to look. River gets in front, Lemony comes through Hohenrhein chicane and wins round number 6. Shred keeps P2, Dylan P3. River defends that P4 by the looks of it against Deering. Run to the line for both of them. Don't think they will run. They will run out of fuel. Kaza and P6. Richie P7. Oscar Beetlejuice. It's close. Oscar with that P8. Beetlejuice P9. Thomas in 10th position. Dashi then finishes the race P11 overall. He went on to the soft tire compound. Interesting. So he tried something. Furious 2 as well. So the drivers behind, they wanted to risk something. Taz in P13. Also on the soft tire compound. Prodigy got past Kurt in the end. So he made one overtake throughout the entire race, probably. Will finish the race in P14. It's like that. And Kurt, who was running all the way up to P3 at one time during the race, will finish in 15th. And so Prodigy across the line in P14, and then it's Kurt with that P16. Oof, that was a race. So let's have a look at the race results graphics. Lemony with the fastest lap as well, and towards the end, and the victory, Dread, Dylan, River, or during 5th. Kaza P6. Richie winning in the AM class in front of Oscar. Then we have Juice, Thomas, Ashy, Furious 2, Taz, Prodigy, and Kurt. So Not sure, there were a couple of incidents. I saw most of the time people were waiting because of mistakes, and so let's see if that results stands the harsh review. And for the CLR stewards, let's see. I hope everyone can live with that result. It was a crazy race, and yeah, see in chat pain, regret, suffering, stuff like that. So, so yeah, that was definitely an interesting one. So thank you all, chat, for watching. On bring that up. So, impro schedule here. So next week we go to Spa, also one of the iconic tracks, of course. I see what racing will look like at Spa. I sneak peek at schedule, see the settings. Oh, we have also mixed conditions like in this one. Very similar to this race, to be honest. So same conditions, different track. All right. So yeah, I hope to see you next week. Probably will be doing the live commentary as well. So for the rest of the season. So was a very entertaining one, and hope to see you again. Maybe also on Thursday for the Random Mayhem round number 4. And yeah, that's all for today. Have a good one. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.